have a fair amount of mummies we have been able to collect through excavation. We do not know much about the process which took place.
The little we do know is based off of paintings, drawings, and a few writings.
Herodotus is our main source. He talks about 3 different levels of mummification possible.
In the most expensive type of burial service, the body was laid out on the table and washed. The embalmers would remove the brain via the nostrils with an iron hook, and what could not be reached with the hook is washed out with a fluid mixture. Next, the flank is opened with a flint knife and all of the entrails were removed. The cavity was thoroughly cleansed and washed out with palm wine and ground spices. After it is filled with aromatic substances and sewn up again, after which the body is placed in nitron, covered entirely over 70 days, never longer. When this period is over, the body is re-washed, then wrapped from head to foot in linen cloth, cut into strips, smeared on the underside with gum, which is commonly used by the Egyptians instead of glue. In this condition, the body is given back to the family, who would then place the body into a human figure-shaped case or coffin, this being the final resting place.
In the second most expensive burial, less care was given to the body. No incision is made and the intestines are not removed, but oil of cedar is injected with a syringe into the body through the anus, which is afterwards stopped up to prevent the liquid from escaping. The body is then cured in natron for the prescribed number of days, on the last of which the oil is drained off. The effect is so powerful that as it leaves the body, it brings with the viscera in the liquid state, and as the flesh has been dissolved by the natron, nothing of the body is left but the skin and bones. After this treatment, it is returned to the family without further attention.
The third and cheapest method of embalming was simply to wash out the intestines and keep the body for 70 days in natron. The internal organs were removed in order to help preserve the corpse, but because it was believed that deceased would still need them, the internals were placed in canopic jars to be sealed in the tomb. Only the heart was left inside the body, as it was believed to contain the ab aspect of the soul.
We wanted to see if there was any real differences in preservation among 2 chickens who each went through a different form of burial practice.
One chicken, we plan to try to replicate a high status mummification, while the other, we will do an initial salt drying, but then finish off with a dirt burial, and then compare how much of a difference the later steps of mummification makes in final preservation.
For our experiment, we used 2 airtight containers, 2 chickens, salt, baking soda, gauze wrappings, rubbing alcohol, and oil for cleansing.
The high status chicken was first washed with water and cleansed with rubbing alcohol and patted dry with a towel.
The low status chicken received the same initial preparation of a washing and cleansing with the rubbing alcohol.
For our salt, we attempted to recreate natron, composing of a 1-to-1 salt to baking soda mixture. Initially, both chickens start in the mixture of 50-50 salt and baking soda for the first 2 weeks for the first portion of the drying process.
After the second week, we dried out King Clucker in the salt mixture for 1 more week. At week 3, we removed him from the salt drying mixture, washed him in oil, wrapped him in gauze, and then wrapped him in a final layer of cloth fabric to replicate a high status mummification.
After 4.5 weeks, the 2 chickens looked very different. The low-class mummy was less well preserved and moldy, and absorbing water through the ground. It was soft, flimsy, and moist. On the other hand, the high-class mummy was much better preserved, although it had a strong smell to it, which we did not expect. It stayed very dry, hard, and stiff.
If we were to do it again, we would try using a heat lamp to speed up the drying process. We would also dry the chickens out longer for the full 70 days. Then we would use the sand instead of dirt to better resemble the Egyptian environment.